Portland, Oregon, a city known for its beauty. Lush green forests surround it. The Willamette River winds through its heart. But beneath the surface, a darkness lurks, a history whispered in the fog that rolls in from the Pacific. This is a city with secrets. Secrets buried deep within its history, secrets that refuse to stay buried. The air is thick with the scent of rain and damp earth. A chill hangs heavy even in the summer months. Shadows stretch long and deep, hiding secrets in their folds. The city sleeps, unaware of the darkness that watches from the hills. Portland is a city of contrasts. Beauty and darkness exist side by side. It is a place where the line between the real and the supernatural is blurred, where the past has a way of reaching out and touching the present. This is the story of one of those places. A place where the veil between worlds is thin. A place known as the Hollow. High above the city, the West Hills rise like silent guardians, watching over the bustling life below. Covered in dense forests, they are a place of shadows and whispers, where the trees seem to hold secrets of their own. Trails wind through the trees, leading to breathtaking views that captivate the heart and soul. But be warned, not all who wander these paths find their way back. The forest has a way of ensnaring those who venture too deep. Deep within the West Hills lies a secluded glen, a place untouched by time. Locals call it the Hollow, a name that sends shivers down the spine of those who hear it. It's a place of unsettling stillness, where the air hangs heavy and the sunlight struggles to penetrate the thick canopy, casting eerie shadows on the forest floor. The trees grow close together, their branches gnarled and twisted, as if reaching out to ensnare the unwary. The ground is soft and spongy, carpeted in a thick layer of decaying leaves that muffles footsteps and adds to the sense of isolation. Stories abound about the Hollow, passed down through generations, each more chilling than the last. Hikers tell of strange noises and cold spots, sudden chills that make the hair on the back of their necks stand up. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures lurking among the trees, fleeting glimpses of something not quite human. Others speak of a feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes upon them, following their every move. But the most persistent legend is that of the Halloway family, whose story is as tragic as it is mysterious. They lived in a grand mansion overlooking the Hollow, a house that once stood as a symbol of their wealth and status. They disappeared one stormy night, vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and a sense of dread. Some say they were victims of a terrible accident, their carriage lost in the treacherous terrain. Others whisper of darker forces at work, of curses and malevolent spirits that claimed the Halloways as their own. The truth remains hidden, buried deep within the shadows of the Hollow, waiting for those brave enough to uncover it. As the sun sets over the West Hills, the mystery of the Hollow endures, a haunting reminder of the unknown lurking just beyond the light. The Halloway mansion stood on a hilltop, its silhouette stark against the night sky. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out over the Hollow, a silent witness to the passage of time. Built in the late 1800s, it was a testament to a bygone era, a relic of a time when craftsmanship and detail were paramount, a time of elegance and grandeur, where every room told a story of opulence and sophistication. But tragedy struck the Halloway family, leaving behind a legacy shrouded in mystery and sorrow. It cast a long shadow over their legacy, a darkness that seemed to seep into the very walls of the mansion. The family patriarch, Jonathan Halloway, was a stern man, known for his unyielding demeanor and strict principles. He made his fortune in timber, a booming industry at the time, and his wealth was reflected in the grandeur of the mansion. He ruled his family with an iron fist, His word was law, and his presence was both commanding and intimidating. His wife, Emily, was a shadow of her former self, her spirit seemingly crushed under the weight of her husband's dominance. She was haunted by a sadness that seemed to cling to her like the fog that often blanketed the hollow, a melancholy that never seemed to lift. They had 2 children, a boy named William and a girl named Elizabeth, each a reflection of their parents in their own unique ways. William was a quiet and withdrawn child, often found gazing out the window, lost in his own thoughts. He was often lost in his own world, a place of imagination and solitude, far removed from the harsh realities of his home. Elizabeth, on the other hand, was full of life and energy, her laughter a rare but cherished sound in the sombre household. But even her laughter couldn't dispel the gloom that hung over the Holloway mansion, a darkness that seemed to permeate every corner. One stormy night, the unthinkable happened. The Holloways vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and a chilling silence. The storm raged for days, its fury unmatched, as if nature itself was mourning the loss of the family. When it finally broke, there was no sign of the family. The mansion stood empty, a hollow shell of its former self. The only sound was the wind whistling through the broken windows, a haunting melody that echoed the unanswered questions and the mystery that still lingers to this day. The disappearance of the Holloways sent shockwaves through Portland. Theories abounded. Some believed they had simply left town, while others whispered of more sinister explanations. The mystery captivated the community, and the mansion became a focal point of speculation and fear. But the truth remained elusive. The mansion stood empty, its grand facade slowly succumbing to the ravages of time. Weeds overtook the once manicured gardens, and the windows, once gleaming, were now clouded with dust and grime, a constant reminder of the tragedy that had unfolded within its walls. Years passed, and the mansion's eerie silence became a part of the town's landscape. The once vibrant home was now a decaying relic, a monument to a family lost to time. Stories began to circulate about strange occurrences at the abandoned mansion. Neighbors reported seeing lights flickering in the windows late at night, despite the house being devoid of electricity. Locals whispered of lights flickering in the windows, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. The mansion seemed to come alive after dark, its secrets refusing to remain hidden. They spoke of disembodied voices echoing through the empty halls, whispers that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The air inside the mansion was thick with an unexplainable chill, as if the very walls were haunted by the past. Some even claimed to have seen the ghostly figures of the Holloway family wandering the grounds. These apparitions, dressed in old-fashioned attire, seemed to be trapped in a time long gone, forever reliving their final moments. Foolish teenagers, their curiosity piqued by the stories, dared each other to spend the night in the mansion. They brought flashlights and bravado, but their courage often faltered as the night wore on. Few lasted the whole night. They fled in terror, their screams echoing through the empty halls. The mansion seemed to feed on their fear, growing more menacing with each passing hour. Driven out by unexplained noises and icy drafts, they spoke of doors that creaked open on their own and windows that slammed shut without warning. The mansion was a labyrinth of shadows and secrets. Those who did stay told of seeing shadowy figures lurking in the corners of their eyes. These fleeting glimpses were enough to send shivers down their spines, leaving them questioning their own sanity. They felt cold hands brush against their skin, an icy touch that seemed to come from nowhere. Goosebumps would rise on their arms, and they would feel a presence watching them, unseen but undeniably there. The Holloway mansion became a place to avoid. Its reputation as a haunted house grew, and the townspeople kept their distance, wary of the dark history that clung to it like a shroud. It was a place where the boundary between the living and the dead seemed to blur. The mansion existed in a twilight zone, where the past and present intertwined in a dance of shadows and light. It was a place where the past refused to stay buried. The Holloway Mansion stood as a testament to a mystery unsolved, a ghost story that continued to haunt the town of Portland. Pause 3S. The Ghosts of Portland's West Hills. A haunting tale continues with more eerie stories and mysterious events that have left the residents of Portland in awe. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the unknown. Pause 2S. Beyond the Holloway Mansion, the West Hills of Portland are dotted with other sites shrouded in mystery and ghostly lore. These hills, with their winding roads and dense forests, have been the backdrop for numerous tales of the supernatural. One such story involves the old Fenton Mill, a relic from the city's industrial past. Abandoned for decades, the mill's crumbling structure is said to be haunted by the spirits of workers who perished in a tragic accident. On quiet nights, locals claim to hear the faint sounds of machinery turning and the distant cries of men trapped in the flames. Pause 2S. Then there's the tale of the spectral hitchhiker. Drivers navigating the winding roads of the West Hills have reported picking up a young woman in a white dress, only for her to vanish without a trace shortly after. They describe her as having a serene, almost otherworldly presence, and those who have encountered her often speak of a chilling cold that permeates the air around her. Pause 2S. The West Hills are also home to the infamous Witches' Hollow, a secluded glen where, legend has it, a coven of witches once practiced their dark arts. Even today, the area is avoided by many, especially after dark. Strange symbols and arrangements of stones have been found there, and those who venture too close speak of an oppressive atmosphere and an unsettling feeling of being watched. Pause 2S. But perhaps the most unsettling of all is the tale of the phantom train. On certain foggy nights, an old steam locomotive is said to appear on the disused tracks that run through the hills. Witnesses describe hearing the distant whistle and the clattering of wheels, only to see the ghostly outline of the train pass by, its windows filled with shadowy figures. As quickly as it appears, it vanishes into the mist, leaving behind only the eerie echo of its passage. Pause 2S. These stories, passed down through generations, add to the rich tapestry of folklore that surrounds the West Hills. They serve as a reminder of the mysteries that lurk just beyond the edge of the known, where the line between reality and the supernatural is thin and easily crossed. Pause 2S. Join us next time as we continue to explore the haunted history of Portland, uncovering more tales that send shivers down the spine and make you question what lies in the shadows. Until then, keep your lights on and your doors locked, for you never know what might be lurking in the darkness. Pause 3S. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more chilling tales from the unknown. Pause 3S. In this final chapter, we explore the most chilling encounters and ghostly apparitions reported in the West Hills. From unexplained noises to full-bodied apparitions, these stories will send shivers down your spine. Pause 2S. Our journey begins with the tale of the crying woman of Cedar Ridge. Local legend tells of a woman who lost her child in a tragic accident near the ridge. On moonless nights, her anguished cries echo through the trees, piercing the silence and sending chills down the spines of those who hear them. Some have even reported seeing her ghostly figure, clad in a tattered dress, wandering the area, forever searching for her lost child. Pause 2S. Next we venture to the old stone bridge, a site notorious for its eerie occurrences. Travellers crossing the bridge at night have reported hearing footsteps behind them, only to find no one there. The sound of heavy breathing and whispers in an unknown language often accompany these footsteps, leaving those brave enough to cross the bridge feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Pause 2S. One of the most unnerving tales involves the Shadow Man of Timber Lane. Residents of this quiet street have long spoken of a dark, shadowy figure that appears at the edge of their vision, only to vanish when they turn to look directly at it. This entity is said to bring with it an intense feeling of fear and unease, causing pets to cower and children to cry without reason. Pause 2S. And then there's the Haunted Chapel, an old abandoned church that sits on the outskirts of the West Hills. Once a place of worship, it now stands as a monument to the unexplained. Visitors to the chapel have reported hearing the faint sound of organ music playing, despite the organ being long gone. Others have seen the ghostly figures of monks walking the grounds, their chants echoing through the night air. Pause 2S. Finally, we end our journey with the story of the phantom caretaker. In a secluded corner of the West Hills lies an old cemetery, where an apparition of a caretaker is said to roam. Dressed in old-fashioned attire, this ghostly figure is often seen tending to the graves, only to disappear when approached. Witnesses describe a sudden drop in temperature and an overwhelming sense of sadness when in the presence of the phantom caretaker. Pause 2S. These chilling encounters and ghostly apparitions are a testament to the mysterious and supernatural history of the West Hills. They remind us that even in the quietest of places the past can linger, and the line between the living and the dead is often blurred. Pause 2S. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the haunted history of Portland. As we close this chapter, remember to stay vigilant, for the unknown often lies just beyond our sight. Keep your lights on and your doors locked, for you never know what might be lurking in the darkness. Pause 3S. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more chilling tales from the unknown. Pause 3S. Until next time, sweet dreams, if you dare.